Well, everybody, look at us. Here we are. A couple of... Wait a minute, that's the theme from Silver Spoons! I guess I've just got 80s on the brain. Anyway, I've been harassed by this game enough. It's time to play. But first, a little background. Rambo on the NES was released December 1988. It was developed by Pac-In Video and published by Acclaim. I used to think it was made by LJN, since their art styles were so similar. For those of you who don't know, LJN, named after a guy named Norman J. Lewis, was a crappy game-making machine back in the 1980s. It started off as a toy company, but eventually moved to video games, most of which were on Nintendo consoles. They made games including Friday the 13th, Jaws, Beetlejuice, Back to the Future, A Nightmare on Elm Street, and many, many more. I would give you numbers, but I didn't feel like wasting my own time. They made a few somewhat passable games, but they've become notorious for making some of, if not the worst, movie games ever. And then MCA ended up buying them. What was the music company doing buying a game company? You got me. But that's enough history. Let's get to Rambo.
Hey! Who the hell are you? What are you doing in my house?
It worked.
What worked? Who are you?
How about that?
What?
I'm you, from the future. I came here in a time machine that you invented.
Do you need my help to get you back to the year 1985 as well?
Ha ha, very funny. Hysterical, in fact. No, I'm here to stop you from...
Oh, that's rich. You're me. Why should I believe that you're not just some look-alike? There's over 7 billion people on the planet. There's bound to be someone who looks like me.
Of course, it's 2018, July. It's September. You're too late. Now, if you please, I have a game to go play. Game, Dan. You're a sight for sore eyes. Are you gonna quote all of Back to the Future? Sorry, it's just I haven't seen it for so long. Could you be a little quieter? I have a game to review.
Of course. That's when it all started, the game review. What are you on to now? Mario Kart DS? Kaboom?
No, Rambo.
Hey, what's your problem, man? Who are you anyway? I told you I'm you. What can I possibly gain by lying?
Fine. Even if you are me, you're not that much older looking than I am, and time travel still isn't a thing yet. It happens. Trust me. After the crash. The crash? What's the crash? I may be jeopardizing my own future here, but it's a future I'm willing to jeopardize. You see, like I said, I'm from the future. And about 3 years from now, my friend, the angry video game nerd, is killed. After his death, lacking another major figure to represent the majority, the North American market became saturated with hundreds of bad games, causing a second video game market crash, sending several companies to rock bottom. Microsoft, Sony, Sega, Nintendo, and a few mobile game companies nobody cares about, to name a few. After that, a seemingly dead company rose from the grave and took control as one of the only surviving video game companies. That company was Acclaim Entertainment.
Holy crap. Why did they kill the nerd? He wasn't doing any harm. He should get some respect. Especially after saving the freaking world. Well, I suppose it could be worse. It could be LJN, right?
Well, that's what I was getting to. Back in 1990, the current owners of LJN, MCA, sold it to Acclaim.
They what?
Acclaim owns LJN.
How have I never heard about this? The nerd would be rolling over in his grave.
It's true. With nothing to stop them and little competition, they quickly became one of the largest companies in the country.
Their games really suck, don't get me wrong. But they're just a game company. I just don't understand how reality could be so messed up with them back.
I thought the same thing. Then they started getting bigger, and before anyone noticed, they began to take more appeal in legislation and began to be able to appoint figureheads that would get their dirty deeds done. And, well, the rest is history. My history. And yours too if you play that game.
Hold up, I don't understand. How could reviewing Rambo change the whole course of history?
It gets attention, and soon you're working for the man. Acclaim being the man, of course. They gave you an offer you just couldn't refuse. And after what happened to the nerd, I admit that I was scared. Although, just like you, at the time, I had no idea about their involvement with LJN, or what they had planned.
Okay, I believe you. But what am I supposed to do? Not that many people watch my reviews. How could this one be so influential?
You know how life is. One day you're just another gamer, the next you're working for a massive evil gaming conglomerate.
Right, but I don't understand what's changed this time. I'm only following my normal formula for this kind of stuff.
I don't know what to say, but you can't review that game, or our future is destined for disaster.
Well, what am I supposed to do now? Quit? But no, don't quit.
Just review another game.
I don't know. Hey, if you're from the future, did you ever figure out why those games hit me in the face?
Actually, in my reality, I came by Rambo normally. But during my trip here, I stopped off a couple of times. That's my Rambo game. I'm the one who threw it at you.
Really? That hurt, you know.
Yeah, sorry about that. It's just, I could only stay for so long and you kept leaving it places. In any case, I said I'd review it, so wouldn't history be messed up with a different review? Well, I'm hoping reality will change. That's why I'm here to begin with. To change the future.
Well, what do I call you anyway? Me? Game Ambassador number 2?
Well, calling me or you would get pretty confusing, and calling me Game Ambassador number 2 technically wouldn't be correct since I was here first, sort of. Just call me Rambo Game Ambassador, or RGB for short.
Let's see. Oh my god! Look, I'm holding a zapper!
Oh my god, reality must be changing. Do whatever you did before.
I don't know what I did.
I guess I'll just review Wild Gunman? Released on October 18th, 1985, Wild Gunman was one of the 17 original games that launched with the NES the same year. Did you know that Wild Gunman was originally an arcade game? The player would use a light gun to shoot at a screen displaying 16mm film. On the screen was an alley. Bad guys would walk back and forth, and your goal was to shoot as many as possible before the game ended. The NES port has the same concept. You play as the Wild Gunman, whose only point of existence is to cap some fools. Like Duck Hunt and Hogan's Alley, it used the Zapper, which was inspired by a similar light gun that the Wild Gunman arcade game used, designed by Gunpei Yokoi, the same man who created the Game Boy. Nothing's happening. RGB? Hello? Wait, I'll review another game. Hey! Marble Madness! What an odd game. I was saving it for later, but what the heck. Marble Madness was originally released by Atari into arcades back in December 1984. The game used a built-in trackball controller that moved an on-screen marble that you had to navigate through 6 MC Escher-inspired stages. Maybe that's what inspired Atari to release the 5200 trackball controller, which didn't age well. Like I've said here before, the game has a really weird perspective, and just in case you think it's too easy, they added a mode on the NES port that makes it even harder to steer. Both the arcade version and the NES version have a 2-player option, which gets really insane. Marble Madness was the first game to use the Atari System 1, a predecessor to the System 2, which was used in games like 720 Degrees and Paperboy. If you know your stuff, you can get through this game pretty easily. But the point isn't to get as far as you can, the point is to gather as many points as possible by collecting power-ups and finishing levels early. If your score is high enough, you can make it into the High Rollers board and enter your initials. And the levels aren't that long. Seriously, I'm going to show you an example of me actually playing it in real time, and you'll see how fast it is. It's not that long, and there's only 6 of them, so... What the hell is going on here? The game dead. It's so different. RGB. Right. Did I imagine him? Where am I? Is this a different version of reality? Is this a sign that the future changed? Man, this really is like Back to the Future. Well, if he's gone, and reality has actually changed, then maybe it's okay to review Rambo now? Let's get this over with.
Published by Acclaim and developed by Pack-In Video, the same company that produced Die Hard and Knight Rider on NES, which both suck, comes Rambo, based on Rambo First Blood Part 2. Rambo on NES was released in 1988. Rambo is categorized in a genre called Metroidvania, describing games that have action and side-scrolling similar to Metroid and Castlevania. And although people rarely acknowledge it, I think of Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link as a Metroidvania title, since it came out right after Metroid and Castlevania were released. There's plenty of great Metroidvania games, but this one has gotta be at the bottom of the barrel. Its navigation, menu system, and story arc are just odd. Rambo was only released in Japan and North America. It was never released in Europe. That's how bad it is. However, I'll let the game speak for itself.
Gotta love that logo. Flames. That's what Rambo's all about, right? Name, John Rambo. Age, born 1947. Race, Indian and German. What the hell do I need to know his life story for? That's like if before Super Mario Brothers they had a bio on Mario and Luigi come down before you can play. What a waste of time. Who the hell is that? Is that supposed to be Rambo? He looks like an alien! It looks like Solid Snake got his face bashed in. The Punch-Out characters look more realistic, and they're made up! No, this is supposed to look like Sylvester Stallone. What a crock of shit.
So when you start the game, you're greeted by a guy named Colonel Troutman, a character from the movie played by Richard Crenna. Once again, the 8-bit rendition looks nothing like the actor. This must be when he visited Rambo in prison at the beginning of the movie.
Another one of the special features in this game is choosing your character's dialogue. I feel better in prison. What kind of a choice is that? Troutman even says, but it's up to you, the game doesn't start until you say yes. That's so stupid. That's a stupid illusion of choice. I'm not afraid of death. I'm afraid of this game.
Is that supposed to be Rambo? For real? Why is he so skinny? That looks like that? Now I have to talk to Murdoch, who tells me, we want you to get into enemy territory and take photographs of the POW camp. You're not to engage the enemy. Photos, not rescue them? I repeat, you're not to engage the enemy. Go to the weapons center and get ready.
This exchange closely follows the film, almost too closely. It always bothered me. If you give Rambo the right tools, of course he's gonna kill people. And you just said not to engage with the enemy. Now you want me to go get some weapons? Rambo will always kill people. He's Rambo. That's like telling your kid they can't have dessert and then sending them to Dairy Queen with a pocket full of cash. Have you ever seen Sylvester Stallone movies? He always plays the underdog. Rambo's gonna kill people. Where's the damn weapons center? I can't go into any of these buildings. Oh, it's like that, huh? What makes that door so different from the others? That's grossly inconsistent. You could have at least made the door go into another room, even if there's nothing in it. Take a note from Zelda 2. I just keep going back and forth, back and forth. Real fun game you made here. You got 36 hours to get in, complete your assignment, and get the hell out. Get the hell out. Nice, real PG for the kiddies. This has got to be the only American NES game with flat-out cursing like that. Huh, doesn't that sound familiar? Alright, finally we get some Rambo action. What the hell is this? Hey, quick question. When did Rambo fight animals in First Blood Part 2? Jesus, this is barely a Rambo game anyway. Rambo doesn't stab bugs with a knife. This is more like Misdemeanor First Blood Part 2. I know they said not to engage with the enemy, but this is ridiculous. And the hitboxes are too small. Look at this little spider, I can barely see it. There, for God's sake. The question still remains, why is Rambo using a dagger? A similar Rambo game was released 3 years earlier on the Commodore 64, among other computers of the time. You started with throwing knives in that game, and you definitely didn't fight animals. Here he's just running around with a dagger like a friggin' idiot. What the hell is going on in this game? And here's the real kicker. You do eventually get a gun. Rambo should have a gun from the beginning. You shouldn't have to torture yourself to get an essential feature of the game. That's stupid design.
Look at this. North and South. Kinda like in Friday the 13th on NES, which was also made by Pack-In Video. Makes sense that it appears here then, but why just have blocks with the letters N and S on them? At least Rambo's not dressed in purple, I guess. Whenever you hit an enemy, numbers float above them, just like in Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. Now that I mention it, this game rips off Zelda every 2 seconds. These snakes are so fast as Rambo. That's ridiculous. How can a snake be as fast as a person running full speed? I bet if Rocky was in this game, he'd outrun him.
If you jump right, you can make Rambo look like he's on a pogo stick. He looks like a freaking idiot. What the hell is up at the end of the screen? Why even put that there? Oh, I hate these goddamn bugs. Jesus, another end of the world. Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. That was in the movie. You remember when the world ends in the movie? Oh, that's real fair, guys. How the hell am I supposed to get away? Good God, this game is like a maze. I don't know where the hell I'm going. Great, so instead of actually making a game you can play, you go around the maze until it starts changing? What the hell is wrong with this game? There's no consistency in this game. And it's timing how long I've been playing it? Oh my God, why would I want to know that? Minutes of my life I'm never going to get back. What is this, a tiger? Oh my God, what the hell is that doing in the movie? Or game, I can't even tell anymore. Oh, here's the lady from the movie. Now we're getting somewhere. I expect her to have a machine gun, but I guess she's just walking around unarmed. You can curse in the game, but you can't have guns? Why even make a Rambo game if you can't have guns in it? What a waste! Now I have to go with her to a boat to get across the lake, just like in the movie. You actually control her later in the game, another key scene replicated here in 8-bit. Although you don't have to seduce any army men in the game. Surprised they didn't make that a level, too. What the hell? Was that a ghost? You can also take potions to restore your health, but you'll run out of them pretty fast. Why do the flamingos attack you? What do they have against Rambo? Everything you can imagine is out to kick your ass. Even the fish. Every few steps is a hit. You can barely see them in the water. They're not even deadly fish. They're just harmless little goldfish. What's their problem? I complain about dying too much, but it takes a while. In the movies, Rambo can seem like he's almost invincible, but this is taking it way too far. There's no point to kill the enemies when you can just walk past them with little damage. Your health is at 100% by default anyway, and hits only take away about 4 points at a time. Here's another thing. What is up with these caves? They're like mazes and can be kind of confusing, and you also need a lantern to see anything. Just like in Zelda 2! And you got this jerk blocking your path. Back off, you stupid arachnid bastard! These caves are a complete ripoff. They must have wanted this to ride off the Zelda hype and do better, but in their attempt to be like a good game, they made this pile of dookie. In fact, Rambo was released after Zelda 2 in Japan, but it was released before Zelda 2 in the US. So, did they rip it off? I'm gonna say yes, based on their lack of originality and the fact that the original Japanese release predates it by almost a year. Screw it, I'm jumping ahead. Oh my god, why are the passwords so long? There's lowercase letters, uppercase letters, and numbers! Oh my god, this will take me hours! Better work. Whoa, it works, wow. Alright, Britt, the boss, which is a helicopter. That's almost like the movie, except Rambo was in a helicopter too. Here he's just dodging missiles on the ground and killing more army men. They got lazy on this one. In the Commodore game, they made the ending somewhat more like the actual movie. God, Jesus, you think this is enough? I don't want you to beat this game, jeez. The only reason I'm surviving right now is because I put an invincibility cheat in. Yeah! Get on the chopper, quick! Goodbye, Nam. Stupid dialogue. I don't make orders, I take them, just like you. I swear to God this wasn't supposed to happen. It was just supposed to be another assignment. Mission accomplished. There are more men out there. I'll find them or I'll find you. What the hell? What the hell just happened? Did I just turn Murdoch into a frog? You're tougher than I thought. Now you're free. John, where are you going? I don't know. Now they copy more lines from the film and game over. Maybe it would be more emotional like the movie if this stupid music loop wasn't deafening me. The battle is over. But thank you for trying. What a freaking weird game. Hopefully the future will be alright after this. I wonder why RGB's review attracted the attention of Acclaim rather than make them negative towards it. I guess I'll never know. My memory of it is getting kinda hazy now. Maybe it's a good sign that he disappeared. And the game den is different. Maybe he did change the future. Maybe because originally, when he reviewed the game, his future self wasn't there to warn him. So, since that's what happened this time, then that means the future is okay? That's enough for me. Let's cut to the rating. I'll give Rambo 1 out of 5 Rambo daggers. Bottom line, the game is lacking a lot of attention. The enemies, weapons, dialogue, and design in general definitely needed a once-over. Maybe if they put more work into it, it would have been better. I'll have to review the Commodore 64 version sometime, but I'll definitely need a Rambo break for a while. Let's play some good games. That's all from me, guys, and if you ever hear about anything that's reminiscent of RGB's future, let me know. I'll see you all next time on the Game Den.